So, for the penultimate act tonight, we have Rocco Di Pietro. He's a composer, pianist, and writer. His music has been played throughout the world at the Kitchen in New York, the Brooklyn Philharmonic, and many others. He's currently working on an extended 5-art series derived from cameo portraits of models called Tours. So some of you might have read the article in The Guardian by Andrew Mayo. I'm going to read an excerpt from it. So he goes, "The last time Rocco Di Pietro saw Julius Eastman was on a freezing April morning in Buffalo in 1989. Julius showed up at my door," remembers Di Pietro. "He was homeless and looking for bus money to get to California. I gave him what I could, offered to make him an omelet, buy him cigarettes, and drive him to the station. He was wearing his oversized jacket with all these pockets. They were stuffed with miniature scores. He pulled out this Brahms lieder, sat at my piano, and played. He was singing full force. It was unbearable. He still had such a wonderful voice. I never saw him again. A year later, I heard he was dead. However, 2 days after our interview, Di Pietro sends me an email telling me he's transcribed the Eastman score he found in his basement. It's called Hail Mary. Julius sent it in 1984, he says, as a little meditation when I was isolated in the world. He was saying, 'It will all be okay, don't give up.' At a time when he was giving up, I was grateful, but I was embarrassed as well. I buried it for 32 years. It premiered in November 2016, and today he's here with us to share what was buried for 32 years. Dear people, please welcome Rocco Di Pietro.
Bennett, can you hear me well now? Good. Well, here are some notes I want to share with you. Julius was going to sing a set of songs I had written. I want to play you a few excerpts from these songs. But he hated the tape part. And so he refused to sing them, and he was giving up music. So between 1980 and 1984, there was a huge crisis in music, in modern music, right? Ligeti stopped writing. I stopped writing. Julius was very much affected by this temper of the times. When I picked up the pen again, it was 1987 with the 3 Black American folk songs. I'm telling you this because I want to ask you a question together. What is fundamental? What could be fundamental? So when I play you the message from Julius Eastman, I asked myself that question. What kind of music would be fundamental that he would have, after you've given up everything, what is left? He couldn't even do jazz with his brother anymore. Julius actually did jazz for some time, but he rejected it. So Julius was going to sing these songs, but he wanted me to get rid of the tape part, and we fought as always. But now he was giving up music, and I asked again, what is fundamental? And we agreed that if anything is fundamental, folk music would be fundamental. So you're going to hear some kind of, not real folk music, but a kind of imaginary folk music between tonal and I don't know. Yeah. And Julius was on the edge of something long before, say, Ligeti announced to Varga that modernism was a lie. Julius was living through this dilemma. It was one of the things that impacted him that isn't talked about. So the kind of music I used in the message was impacted by Julius's idea of what was fundamental, what could be fundamental. And so when I went back to write this message, I looked at the 3 Black American folk songs again, and that he was going to sing if I got rid of the tape part. And now I'm thinking maybe I will get rid of it. If I can find a way to make those tape sounds with percussion, I don't know. So I may do that. But to give you an idea what these were like, the 3 Black American folk songs were just a little, what we call a magnet school, a magnet performing arts school. It was for the Martin Luther King celebration. It was commissioned by the head of this magnet school in upstate New York, Russell Link. And the students played the songs. This recording then was later done at Bang on a Can with a chain gang singer named Pam Smith, a wonderful chain gang singer. So the first piece is a prayer, the second piece is a scherzo, and the third piece is a dirge. And they have within them very old American slave songs embedded. So let's hear a little bit, then you'll hear the style that kind of got into message. Just a prayer, please, Gwen. Wordless. Now the scherzo contains songs like Mary Mac, I've forgotten them all, there's so many. May Go Round the Needle. Let's hear a little bit of that.
Choose your partner, pat him on the shoulder.
Okay.
Choose your partner, pat him on the shoulder. Oh, Lordy, what a day. Bluebird, bluebird, fly in the window.
Bluebird, yes.
Bluebird, bluebird, fly in the window. Bluebird, bluebird, fly in the window. Oh, Johnny, what a day. Choose your partner, pat him on the shoulder. Choose your partner, pat him on the shoulder. Choose your partner, pat him on the shoulder. Oh, Lordy, what a day.
Oh, Mary Mac, I think.
May go round
May
the
Go Round the
needle.
Needle.
Shoot, my silver thimble. Shoot, shoot. Head on the wrist. Shoot, like a clock yonder. Shoot, shoot. And look this way. Shoot, shoot. May go round the needle. Shoot, shoot. My silver thimble. Shoot, shoot. Head on the wrist. Shoot, shoot. Like a clock yonder. Shoot, shoot. And look this way. Shoot, shoot. Oh, Mary Mac, 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 all dressed in black, 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 with silver buttons, buttons, up and down her back, 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 and I love coffee, 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 and I love tea.
So you get the idea, there's quite a heterophony there between the dissonances and the folk songs embedded. And the last one is really heterophonous in that it has sort of deconstructed Protestant chorales against a slave song. It very much alarmed Julius. He would always, it's hopelessly outdated, Rocco, how can you do it? It's hopelessly outdated. Or once I said a Hart Crane poem called The Black Tambourine. It's hopelessly outdated, but I'll sing it. Julius hated poetry. Poetry, it's hopelessly outdated. He gave me such a hard time. I said, well, that's Hart Crane. That he sang it anyway.
Children, they forgot to pray.
Wish I had died in the Egypt land.
Oh,
Death ain't nothing but a robber.
nothing but a robber.
You get the idea. So, to tell you just a little bit about the Hail Mary, it's an unusual circumstance. A concert that Julius asked me to write a 2-piano piece for the clock tower, the PSI clock tower in New York. And it was right at the most difficult point of his life, 1984. And she had introduced part of the story. But that concert fell apart and was a disaster. There were many disasters. And he became very depressed, and he was amazed that I could keep writing. The misunderstanding between us was that I didn't write for the same reasons he did. I wrote to protect myself from reality, and he thought that was hopeless. You know, this Giacometti kind of thing just will not do. It's just, what are we going to do about you, Rocco? So he commissioned me to get me out of this place. I'm a person of downward travel. I go, everything's happening in the studio, that's all. He hated that. Get out of there. And it was so moving because he would actually send me a little money wrapped in an envelope. Say, now write it. In 2 weeks it'll be done. And then the concert fell apart because he was so iconoclastic with the organizers. As if it never happened. And then came this letter with the Hail Mary. So it's a misunderstanding and a projection. Because but it was so moving. So it's like, oh my God. And now he's found religion? Oh no. I had no idea what was happening. But if you look at the words of the Hail Mary, he left out many important parts of that prayer. So that's very telling. You see, what he left out is as important as what he did leave in. Hail, it starts, Dear Rocco, Hail Mary, full of grace, blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. And that's it. There's nothing about sins. So it's very interesting. And he said, well, you can play it in several different ways, and I don't care how you play it in the end. Well, I said, what if we sing it? We make a version for singers, and I have that. I sent an email to Jerry in New York. I said, do you want this like this? I have this is the original meditation for me that sometimes I play with bells, but there's another version that can be sung. But I didn't get a response, so I sent out a preliminary version of the vocal part of it to see what would happen. Actually, it took me quite a while to even get used to this fact that I dragged this Hail Mary out of this Jungian basement. Who wants to go there? I'm alive now. This is 32 years ago. I had to go back into this very dark place. So there's a lot of misunderstanding around the Hail Mary. So let me introduce the message then with this background, that it will have some folk music elements. Parts of it came up from old audio cassettes that were accidentally recorded on my telephone machine. And I found them. I said, oh gosh. All right, I've got the material. This is how it was. It shows how we fought a lot. I mean, he was a big brother. He was 10 years older, and there's a friction there. He knew what was right and what you're supposed to do, and you will do this and you will do that. He was like that. It's like, that's the kind of relationship. You should do this, and that doesn't always work. And I didn't listen. But the fact is, he played my music, and I was very grateful for that. So one day the phone rang. Julie picked it up. June 27, 1987. It's the phone. Could you get it? It's Julius. He wants to speak to you. Hi, Julius. Hi, Rocco. I want to let you know I got your 3 Black American folk songs. They are good. But you really must get rid of that tape part. Tape? Who does that? One does not do that anymore. And chain gang songs? Really? It's hopelessly outdated. You know. It's been a while, Julius. I've heard many things about you. How are you? Well, I had a drug problem, you know. I'm okay now. It's okay. You do not have to worry about me. I left SEM Ensemble. I could not take it anymore, all that Darmstadt crap. Those white people's fascist marks on paper were killing me. I want to feel something, Rocco. None of that shit makes my dick hard. Julius, shut your mouth. Julius, shut your mouth. But Julius, what are you writing now? The last time we talked, you mentioned symphonies and going backwards. I don't write anymore. It's okay. Not at all. No. I have given up music. Julius, 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 Julius. What happened? Get real! After complexity and texture died, minimalism wore out its welcome. So I went to jazz for a while. I wanted something fundamental, but that was going nowhere. It's true I went backwards, as I have done a number of times, and tried writing symphonies. But I just don't care. I just don't care anymore. That's what I admired about Chelsea. He wrote a piece for Gong and Bass in which he just did not care anymore. Julius, that's the biggest misunderstanding of Chelsea I have ever heard. Well, you know, I always defended lost causes. You mean like Genet? I admired him. And Zimmerman I adored. And Hensel, you remember? Yes. I remember, Julius. You were amazing as the runaway slave. But you, Rocco, as a nonconformist wop, in some ways had even less of a chance than me. At least I got minority grants. Shut up, Julius. What's happened to you? Is that why you played my music in New York? When I sang your Donizetti in Buffalo between my evil nigger and nigger faggot, I was the champion of lost causes. Fuck, Julius. The love was there. I know. Julius, remember when I was A&R man for that first recording of Feldman piano music and we flew to New York, we flew to Cleveland? We recorded all those early Feldman pieces and nothing happened. What did you do with the tapes? I gave my copies to Ivar and they were mysteriously thrown out when he was on leave. And I gave Feldman copies and never heard a thing. I decided I did not want my name associated with Feldman. Shit, you could have told me. I tried to warn you, Rocco. I did not know how I felt about it. About being a champion of his music. Now, I can tell you it was one thing to play some of his music as a CA. It was another to bring out the first album of his piano music. One disaster after another, Julius. And what about that time when you outed Cage? And he slammed the piano lid down, telling you in a seminar never to call or write again. It doesn't matter. You came over to my place right after and we had that huge argument and you got drunk. It certainly did matter. Ha! That was a long time ago. It seems funny now. I could not understand why you needed to make a semblance of firm earth out of everything. Sex, politics, aesthetics, and always taking a position on it all. I thought that taking a position was barbarous back then. Having an opinion was the very absence of thinking. Ha! Oh, Rocco, I thought you were a lost cause, a charming lost cause. with your wannabe bourgeois moderation, while you used to waffle on the fence, and I wanted to pin you down. True that, always telling me what to do, and I never listened. It does not matter. Nothing matters. You know. April 1989, 2 years later, a freezing spring day in Buffalo. There is still snow on the ground. Julius shows up at my door on his way to California. He is homeless. He is dressed like Richard Pryor and sports a huge afro, which he never used to wear. He has large, oversized Outback Gentleman Jim hunter's jacket on with many pockets. The pockets are stuffed with miniature scores. He carries a little bag which has some of his manuscripts rolled up on scrolls. He's looking for bus money. I give him what I can, make him an omelet, buy him cigarettes. I will drive him to the bus stop shortly. Before he leaves, he pulls out a pocket score of Brahms' Lieder. Something fundamental. He sits down at the piano and sings full force. The scene is unbearable. As I marvel at his surreal tableau, he still had his wonderful voice. I thought, the horror, the horror. I never saw him again. 6 months later, I heard he was dead, while I was out of town. Dear Rocco, Hail Mary. Full of grace, blessed are you. Among women. And blessed is the fruit of your womb. Jesus. Hail Mary. Full of grace, blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Hail, Mary. Full of grace, blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Hail, Mary, full of grace. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Hail, Mary, full of grace. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Hail, Mary, full of grace. Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Thank you very much. Thank you. Friends of Julius, thank you. So beautiful. Thank you so much.